when I got my acceptance to IB, it was something I was so excited about, and like, yeah, I felt really empowered by the fact that I'm super smart, I can be in this program, and walking through the halls like this, you see really extraordinary people around. But when you break down the numbers and you look at a class, sometimes the ones I'm sitting in now, 20% female to 80% male, enter the MBA program and the ratio gets smaller. 2017, why is that a thing? And why is it something that we in that program ignore as well? So many of us females in the school are ambitious for where we want to go. I want to be an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. And I don't want someone to tell me that I have a ceiling, because that's just how it goes.
It's really crazy how it's 2017 and it feels like the times haven't really changed with equality. Like, we can say that there's been women's marches, there's been so many different rallies, there's been pep talks, there's been speeches, but like, how far have we actually come? It's almost like you walk through one door and the next door is locked, and by the time you've got the key, the next door is also locked, or it slams back in your face, or it leads you in a loop. Like, there's never really gonna be, or I don't know, will we ever find the day when, the pay is the same, when a woman can walk down the street and her clothing is not gonna matter for how she gets treated? Like, when is it gonna end? When are we gonna come to that point where all people are the same, where women and men are equal? Like, it's just crazy.
Intersectionality is a real thing, so being female as a minority and being black as a minority definitely has its differences. So I know being a female, there's already glass ceiling for me, and I know being black, there's already glass ceiling. So having both of those and wanting to penetrate them in my life is definitely something that I think about often. And as much as I feel like society has progressed, and it certainly has, I know that there's inherent barriers that lie forward for me. So that is something that's a little bit discouraging, but you just kind of have to keep moving. I'm in sociology, so that helps a lot, being aware of these inherent biases that are in our world. But yeah, I guess discouraging is the best thing I could think of in this sense of equality, on inequality. But I think we just have to keep moving forward, and although we know that they're there, we just have to keep pushing forward as if they're not.
Yeah.
So when I was little, a big thing in my family was sports and, being active and all that and whatever. My dad always said, you guys can kind of pick a sport when you're young, and hopefully that'll be something that you carry through your life. And for me, that thing was hockey. And from about the age of 4, I started skating and playing hockey, and I fell in love with it. It was just something that my brother and I bonded over, something that we could play in the driveway, and I got to go and do it after school. It just seemed like the coolest thing. And I always looked up to Curtis Joseph. I was like, he's so cool, I want to be like that. I want to play hockey. That was just something that seems like it would be part of my life for a long time. And then, I guess around the age 13, I remember I was the only girl on my team, and I went to a game, and someone on the other team said, "Oh, we're playing a team that has a dike." And when I was 13, that word just, it was weird. I didn't know, first I didn't know what it meant, and then when it got explained to me, it was why does, I don't know why these people are recognizing me as that. And then it hit me that it's because I'm the only girl playing hockey, and apparently that's wrong.
So I work at Labatt Brewery. I'm a security guard there, where I've seen gender inequality there. There's very few women that work within the plant, and more specifically into my department. Actually, out of 10-ish males, excluding my supervisors, which are both male, I am the only female that works there. This testing is so similar to males that I feel like females are much more scrutinized if they don't hit the levels that they need to get their certification and pass. So much so that I think that females are watched during their testing by other males. It's not directly said, but the feelings are there. If you don't pass, people are thinking it's because you're female, and that's the reason why you couldn't get to it. It's no tough love. It's no, oh, you need to bulk up or you need to work harder. It's just simply because you're female. And it's people asking you, do you think you'll ever get there? I don't know if any of us will ever get there. I bet it's like this in other industries. I bet it's like this as a CEO. I bet it's like this as a doctor or as a surgeon. These walls are built so high that females try so hard, leaps and bounds to get over them, and then once, if they do make it over them, to continue that momentum and keep that going. To show other people, not just themselves, that they can actually do something, that they can actually accomplish something and be something bigger, and because of their gender. And I think that that's super unfair.
Look at how far we've come in the women's movement and the human rights movement, right? There's always going to be that person who pushes it a little bit further. Like, we have a boundary, you get over it, there's still other ones in your way, there's still going to be hurdles, but as long as you keep pushing through, you can break it at some point, right? And then at some point far in the future, maybe there won't be any. And that's my only hope, that I can be one of those people to keep us moving forward.
Sweet. I don't think it's only up to us to stand and have these marches and speak our mind, but it's a collective issue. And unless you have the collective bodies, each contributing something to that conversation, you're never going to move it forward. And I think that is starting to happen, and I think that people are recognizing that, and the people with the power to, I guess, reach as many individuals as they can have a duty to speak about that. So I do have hope for it. I'm not looking at, my future in a pessimistic light. I want to be one of the people to change how that's being considered, and to change how, the world looks like when I have a daughter and she says she wants to be an entrepreneur. And I say, go for it.
I want to apologize to all the women I have called pretty before I've called them intelligent or brave. I am sorry. I made it sound as though something as simple as what you're born with is the most you have to be proud of, when your spirit has crushed mountains. From now on, I will say things like, you are resilient, or you are extraordinary. Not because I don't think you are pretty, but because you are so much more than that.